Hello and welcome back to Toy Story 3. We have a few varying missions to do today, and a few other things as well beyond that. So not just, well, mostly missions, but first of all, we're actually, I'll be cutting a lot of this out, but I'm trying to turn a bunch of people into zombies off screen largely, because it takes a while to do and it gives you a gold star. So we're just in the middle of doing that for this chef. And before moving on, there are a few other things we can try and get as well. For example, the present came that we ordered last time, which was the cow cannon that we bought. So now let's actually put that in its place on top of Slinky's farm. And over here we have a night piece we haven't got yet. Let's break into that to get one of Sid's customization things. And a few other things that we missed as well. Generally, these next few videos are largely going to be a lot of cleanup and trying to figure out like how to get certain items that are fairly hard to reach. But also, we have some other things to do with the buildings we've built as well. For example, I'm trying to get onto the town hall here, but I've kind of forgotten the knack. I wound up having to look that up off camera and getting that in a different video. But you'll see how to get it, and it's actually fairly interesting. So for now, let's just press all these buttons on these buildings that we've been ignoring for the whole game, shall we? So now we have all the buildings, there's actually a point to it. I quite like the little animations that the buildings have as well. The play piano here is pretty neat. And over here we have our Tailor Shop. Let's see what this button does. It's like a sewing machine, that's kind of neat. I like seeing all the things kind of moving that do move on these buildings anyway. That's kind of neat. Another zombie while we're on the way here. I'm trying to grind this one out as soon as possible because it's very tedious to try and do, because often it's like, well, where are the people I haven't done this to yet? Yeah. There's no button on the bank, which is weird, but we have seen one on the back of the town hall, so let's head over there, shall we? Oh no, the button on top of the bank up there, rather. It's actually quite hard to spot, that one. It'll be very easy to miss. But I quite like the cash register drawer in the bank, that's pretty cute. And now we can go to the back of the town hall and see what this button does. A gavel. The jail, I think, is one that doesn't actually have a button, if I remember correctly. Yep. But the jail's kind of unique in that. Every other button pretty much has a button. Every other building, rather, has a button. I quite like that the front of that one's an easy bake oven as well, that's cute. Is there a button on the item shop? But don't get stuck in the barrel, Woody. But no, there isn't. Yeah, it's okay. The item shop and the bank, I believe, are the only two that don't have buttons. I'm going to keep revising that statement until this entire video, aren't I? Let's see what the hat shop does. With all of its skulls. It lowers the hat sign to reveal a natural hat. That's kind of cute. So that's this area completely explored. So let's see what's the buttons do in the other area, shall we? And also remember the chef said that we'd find him with Muffins on the outskirts of town, which is actually this area. Not the outskirts of the town itself, but the area just called the outskirts, which is this area here. For now, let's press buttons here as well, shall we?
This seems right. The stagecoach isn't.
I quite like that one with the flowers. That's pretty cool.
Worried something happened to it. Better go investigate, Sheriff.
Hamchill will ignore the stagecoach. We don't need it anymore. Oh no, actually, we're going to go rescue the stagecoach because it gives us a chance to use this gun a bit more. For another gold star, you understand?
Okay, this shouldn't be a problem.
Well, yeah, we're packing heat, dude. Of course it won't be. There we go. Whoops. If using this gun, we actually get a few things, like the gold star for Space Deputy. But now we've saved the stagecoach, so let's move on, shall we? And press more buttons. This button's interesting, because there's a ton of times you have to press this one, because it's actually a giant gumball machine. And what, well, relating to gumballs in this game, is capsules, of course. There are quite a lot of capsules in this building. A lot of very interesting outfits here as well, like the some aspects of the Blue Tree Man, for example, are found here. And you also get some interesting hats and some interesting sets of clothing as well. The cactus outfit's pretty cute, a little gumdrop hat. The main problem with these buttons is waiting for them to come back out again, because it can be a bit of a crapshoot. So I'm currently just waiting for it to reactivate. But that was enough. I quite like the gimmick of this shop. It's kind of dumb, but it's also an interesting idea to have one of the shops, a lot of the areas, a lot of the capsules to be stuck in a giant gumball machine. It kind of scratches the same itch as the Al's Toy Barn one, but you know, in the actual Al's Toy Barn on the board game. But it's much less annoying because it's free. Well, actually, since each board is worth about 10, worth of coins, it's still costing you like a few coins per capsule, so it's like a bit of a. Then again, we have a lot of coins in this version of the game world. In the actual board, we have like 8 left. We also get an interesting bride and groom outfits here as well, which is pretty neat. That's what I remember, the themed outfits. Oh, there's the groom hat. Yeah, but it's going to be exhausting. This has got like a lot of capsules to it, like an awful lot. I haven't counted them, but there's so many of them here, as you can tell from here. But we get some really cute ones, like the Alien Lederhosen set, which I quite like. Never used it, but I like its idea. Come on, button, reset. There we are. We'll know when it doesn't have any more items to give us, because it will eventually just eject coins on their own with no capsule beyond them. We get some interesting hairs here though as well, like the blue curls and the crazy braids. I'm just getting as many of these as I can so that we can more easily do the pictograph stuff. Because it will make sure that we have the actual necessary stuff for it. Having to go look for it later. That's always annoying. Cloudy hair's pretty nice, I quite like that one. And the snake hair's pretty neat too. You get some interesting outfits, pieces here that I quite like. And some new paints as well. It's kind of a shame we don't see the Gumball Machine gradually emptying, because it's not an actual Gumball Machine, it's just a picture of one. Which is a shame because it would be nice to see that kind of thing happening, but again, that's probably a budgetary concern. That probably would have been an enormous animation budget to make that happen. But you're already spending on everything else in this whole massive area. Bunny outfit's pretty cute too. And the mortician outfit too for the townspeople. It's not just the aliens getting chances to play here. The corn hat, yes, that's a duck. I guess it's meant to be a crow, but yeah. And there's the corn outfit it goes with. Just corn with a crow on it. And we have some strongman pieces too. There's the rest of his body. I do like the animation on it, I like seeing the big things spinning as well, like the dial thing. And we get a mermaid outfit in hair here as well. And you may be able to see the muffin kind of glittering in the background that we're going to be collecting later on in this video. This was about when I realised what the game actually meant by the outskirts of town. That's an interesting one, the potato sack. Overall, these are kind of fun to find, but this particular set of them is a bit of a drag because of how long it takes, but we're nearly done here now. So most of them are kind of cleverly hidden, but a bunch of them are just being shoved in a Gumball Machine. While it's kind of satisfying to get them all when you're actually playing it, it's otherwise it feels like they could have just kind of hidden them in better places. Then again, that probably would have made it more frustrating to do than anything else. But it also means that if you just explore all the areas trying to find all the stuff, you'll probably have no idea if you haven't been pressing the buttons that you're missing stuff here. But as you can see there, we're actually done with the machine now. Because now it's just spitting out coins. We don't need those. So let's press the rest of these buttons, and this is probably my favourite one because of the bed. Because it's such a bouncy bed, it catapults you across the entire area, so that we can get to these buildings easier too, which is quite nice. I'm just making sure it didn't get me over a building, which it didn't. So let's push these buttons now on the post office. We have a post office now. Let's finish this mission first though. Post office needs a post box. And the post box honestly looks more like a birdhouse than anything else, so I actually got a bit lost finding it. But there it is, the post box. But again, it looked a little bit like a birdhouse, so I got a little confused, but it was the only thing that looked anything post box related, so I was like, this must be it. So it can be hard to tell what some of these are sometimes if you... So you see, that's a birdhouse, it looks very similar. There we go. Now we've given it a post box, so now it's happy.
Gargoyles are attacking the town! You have to stop them, please!
Later. So now let's find the button on this building. Lowers the flag, which is fairly cute, probably expected. And there's also one last button on here to press. Which of course sets off the printing press and gives us a gold star for pressing every button in the town. Now we've done that, we head up here, because there's a few things we haven't got around here as well. I'm mostly in this transitional area between this area and the other one. So let's head up here to finish things off, shall we? And of course, this is the easily missable Zerg box right near the princess. And it's our last one as well. Now we have all the Zerg stuff. And here's where we notice where all the muffins are, so let's grab them, shall we? But yeah, the fact that this area is called the outskirts can be very easy to miss, because the game doesn't really call it that all that much. It's generally just the area with the dam, it doesn't really name it much. but this is what the game always means by the outskirts, not like the edges of the town area, but the area actually named the outskirts. So if you're going to do that kind of thing though, that kind of semantics, you need to do the whole like Kingdom Hearts thing about naming the area as you go into it, because otherwise if you don't, people don't know what name you're calling an area, they'll find it harder to find the area. Well, at least I did, because I'm an idiot, but there you go. And here we have a spooky Sid horse for the Iron Maiden doors, which are quite nice. I quite like those doors. One more muffin to get. But it's not above the thing, it's just down there, hidden behind this platform. No, we saved the chef, yay! So let's go save the town from the gargoyles, shall we? Gargoyles were saved off screen, by the way. Because you've seen it before, and we didn't get anything new from it this time. So let's grab our pumpkin that we grew off screen again, because we have to do that minigame every time we want to grow a vegetable. And bring a pumpkin along for the guy for his pie. Now you might think you have to give it to the chef, but that's kind of a trick. This is what the missions are actually for in the mission log. You see, we need to do something specific with the pumpkin. It's not throw it at the chef, that's me being petty. So let's check the mission log and see what it says to do with the pumpkin, shall we? Muffin shop. Okay. Yeah, we have to throw it in there. Because he's already in the middle of making the pie, so he just needs some pumpkin ingredients. So there we are. That one's a little tricky if you don't read the mission log. Sometimes they can be quite necessary to read because of that kind of thing. Now we're done with the chef. But the candy shop needs a pinwheel. So let's go on that, shall we? Because now we're done with the chef's missions. There's a lot of interesting little side missions, like very specific customizations that I like for reasons I mentioned before. And these are some of the more, some of the cuter ones. I quite like the idea of putting a little pinwheel in front of the candy shop to attract children, that kind of thing. So I find pinwheels kind of charming myself. Despite being like 30. There's something about them that's just kind of cute. Even if they don't spin as well as they should do. Maybe I used to only ever have crap pinwheels, but there we are. So I'll see you next time as we do more Miscellaneous missions. Goodbye.